Yeah, let me first start by saying congratulations to the Arsenal players. Every one of you were excellent. You were marvelous. It was nice. I wouldn't say that I was expecting Arsenal to lose at Chelsea, but if they had lost, I wouldn't have felt like really bad or pain. I would have said, okay, they were bouncing back from losing to Brighton and Hove, and they just, big teams don't do back-to-back defeat that much. So maybe they were trying to recover from that. And but deep in my heart, this was one of the game of the season that I didn't want us to lose. Previously, it wouldn't have meant anything. But from that moment when Aubameyang said that Mikel Arteta doesn't like big players, doesn't know how to coach big players in his dressing room, he only wants to coach small players. I think he was trying to copy Zlatan Ibrahimovic jibe on Pep Guardiola. But the mistake he made is he is not Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Pep Guardiola and Zlatan Ibrahimovic beef, we all took it because Zlatan Ibrahimovic delivers. Aubameyang does not deliver. Zlatan Ibrahimovic left AC Milan, came back after 10 years that AC Milan had not won a title, and he got them to win the title. And see how he's inspiring the young players from the bench. That's leadership. Aubameyang, on the other hand, was brought to Arsenal to come and be the guy who takes the baton from Thierry Henry, Robbie Van Persie, Emmanuel Adebayor, and all the host of other players that have led Arsenal in 26 years of being in the Champions League. And we're falling out of the Champions League. I said, okay, let's go to Dortmund and bring this guy who dislodged Robert Lewandowski from the goal scorer's lodge and get him to score us all the way to the title. He did score a lot of goals. 5 years, 96 goals or so, a little short of 100. That was good. But you said the thing about some people that have inferiority complex is when they leave a circle of friends and go to another circle of friends, they start talking bad of the previous friends. The problem is, even these new friends will not trust them because they know that pretty soon you will leave us again and go somewhere else and be talking bad of us. So the thing about being matured and being grown is being able to move away from one club and go to another club and say show respect. That's why we love Alexis Sanchez. Even Mesut Ozil, with all that happened before he left, we still got respect for him because he's got respect for the club. He even said he's not going to play for any other club in the Premier League. Even if he comes, I don't have a problem with that. This is football, this is career. And people make mistakes. So when he made that comment, I saw it as a mistake. But then again, before the game, he came in and did all those promos. You could turn it down. There are over 30 players in Chelsea. You shouldn't be the one who is doing that. But then, like you said, it's not impersonal. You were even being coached. How can somebody coach you to talk shit about a club that you played 5 years for? A club that you captain, a club that you wrote every match day notes about for over 2 years, okay? That's crazy. So now let's come to the talk of the matter. 18 times you touched the ball for 76 minutes that you played. That's not the stuff of a good striker. Even if you're trying to study and learn from Erling Haaland, you're not Erling Haaland. You're never going to be Erling Haaland. My problem with Aubameyang is when you talk down Arteta and you're talking down Arsenal, no player at Arsenal have been supported like you have been supported by the fans, by even your own fellow players and everybody. So you should have shown that respect and, forget about whatever problem you have with with Arteta, and focus on the fact that you used to find love here. This is the guy they used to call Obama Blood Clot. Come on. This is the guy that everybody sang his name. This is the guy that everybody was praising. But and then again, when he went to Barcelona, he decided he was going to throw cheap shots, and those were the best. And then he left there, came to Chelsea, and he continued. Remember, Chelsea, in the last 20 years, alongside Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and FC Barcelona, have been the greatest club in the world. So you don't have any excuse. You are in good company. You are in a place where you can ostracize your bad ghost of not being able to lead a team to Champions League. Okay? In the last 5 seasons that you played for Arsenal, let it be said that you never led Arsenal to the Champions League for once, and that's a problem. In this game, those players that you tagged as small boys in the dressing room, small players or little players in the dressing room, are the very same players that shut you down so much so that your leg could touch the ball only 18 times and you pick up the yellow card out of a frustration tackle on Ben White. Okay? That's how bad you have become, and you have to realize that. You played in a team that Brighton and Hove bash. You play in a team that normally people people get scared of playing. Now, people are not scared of playing Chelsea. It should tell you something. This is exactly what we as Arsenal fans used to carry on our shoulder, knowing fully well that Aubameyang plays for himself and not for the team. Chelsea fans will soon get tired of you and start understanding what we were enduring and tolerating. Even when you were not playing for the team and playing for yourself, everybody was enduring you and just managing you, hoping that better days will come, hoping that you will mature. My only sad part for Chelsea, because I don't have a problem with Chelsea as a football club. I respect their success. I respect how they've grown to become a big club under Roman Abramovich. And I was one of those who felt pain that Roman Abramovich was robbed of his team when Todd Boehly came to buy it. I just hope that Todd Boehly can take the club to the next level and do something better, maybe expand the stadium and win a whole lot more titles. But having said that about my hand, let it be told that you still have a chance to redeem yourself. That redemption is make sure Chelsea qualify for the Champions League, because if you don't qualify Chelsea for the Champions League, once again, you would have me to deal with. And that part of you dealing with me is the fact that I will remind the world again, because I remember 6 seasons, or at the beginning when Arsenal signed you, one of the things that I told everybody was that Aubameyang will not qualify Arsenal for Champions League, because Aubameyang as a player, I've studied him and I realized that he's a player who plays for himself. And one of the things that you know that this player is not a big player is if a player doesn't feel bad losing, if a player can be partying even when his team is losing, if a player can be okay with defeat, you know that that player cannot lead that team to the very top. And that's exactly what Aubameyang represents. Let's come to this game. Saka, Odegaard, Zinchenko, Ben White, Saliba, Magalhaes, Aaron Ramsey, everybody who played put in the shift. Yes, it's been 9 games now that Gabriel Jesus have not scored a goal. I feel bad about it, especially looking at the last game, the previous game where Arsenal scored 5 and he put in that kind of work, that kind of shift, and somehow still didn't get a goal. It's sad, but I am happy that Arsenal is winning. There is not a team that have had this type of stats in the Premier League history that have not gone on to win it. We still are not saying that we're in the title race. What Arsenal came into this season for is to make top 4. But we also remember that there was a team that started this well and they won it. That team was Kevin Keegan's Newcastle. I'm not hoping that happened for Arsenal. I'm not hoping that that's the lot of Arsenal. But if that happened and Arsenal has qualified for the top 4, for the Champions League, I will be happy. In the last 2 years, Arteta have really built a team that have character, a team that takes each game as it comes, a team that adapt to each opposition, the way they play, and also imposes their game. Credit must go to the stability that Thomas Partey have brought to this Arsenal team. Credit must go to the re-evolution of Granit Xhaka. We don't talk that much, but Granit Xhaka have really, really evolved. And we must give credit to Arteta, because if he wasn't doing well, they'll say the coach is not managing them well. He's not saying the right thing in the dressing room. So credit to Arteta for that one. Bukayo Saka have risen, and we've forgotten that we signed a player for 72 million that I classify as the worst football player ever in the history of football. We've also forgotten that we got Martinelli for next to nothing, thanks to Edu Gaspar and the team behind him that is working very well for Arteta to go. It also means that pretty soon bigger clubs will start coming for Arteta. It also means that bigger clubs will start looking at what Edu has done to stabilize Arsenal, to take Arsenal for the 7 years that we've been out of the top flight football of European football, and then decide they need a piece of this cake that we had. Remember, that has always been the lot of Arsenal. When Man City discovered money, Gattuso, Sami Nasri, Adebayo, and the rest of them were the players they came to take from us. Also, as big as Barcelona, they took our players, Alexander Song, Alexander Kleb, and a host of other Vermaelen, even Thierry Henry, Cesc Fabregas. People will start coming again. I hope that this time when they come, we would be able to sell players over 100 million at least. Let it be on record that Arsenal have even sold a player for 100 million. Since I've been following Arsenal have actually not sold a player for over 50 million. I don't understand how that is with all the talent that have passed through the gates. But for this game against Chelsea, it was nice. I don't think that there was anything Chelsea could have done differently. I think that Thiago Silva defended very well, showed the stuff he's made of, gave some leadership, just that the whole team didn't click, and it's because leadership start from front. Aubameyang was not leading from the front, and I would not stop jibing on about Aubameyang. You sign a player that is not happy to win, a player that doesn't feel sad losing. Is not a good player. So Raheem Sterling, okay, may have had 1 or 2 good games this season, but it's really not the player that he used to be. Now we understand why Pep Guardiola was putting him on the bench last season, and we also understand why Pep Guardiola was willing to sell him. The truth of the matter is, Raheem Sterling is not that player, and some other players are not pulling strong. Well, if they had pulled strong, maybe Arsenal wouldn't have won. So thank God they didn't pull strong, and Arsenal again took the leadership from Manchester City. Even though Manchester City, came to the top with a last-minute penalty from Erling Haaland yesterday, Arsenal came up strong again and won. I want to say massive shout out to the Arsenal fans. All of a sudden, you begin to feel like that spirit that used to be at Highbury is now with the team, whether they're playing home or they're playing away from home. The fans, if you have like maybe 20,000 fans travel or 5,000 fans travel, they still bring the same energy that you will feel at the Emirates away from home. It's a massive one. For those of us who are not in the UK, who follow from afar, we feel very, very happy, and I feel good about that. But then if you're watching this video and you have a comment on this, I would love for you to vote for your man of the match. Forget the one that has been voted already. Who's the man of the match? And do you think that Gabriel Martinelli is one of those players at Arsenal that is highly underrated, not really rated based on the performance that he puts in? And somebody sent me a message that Saliba is being overconfident sometimes. Do you agree with him? But I think that he's just very, very composed, and that's top quality as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know what you guys think. So whatever you think, tell me what you think about him. And they also say that this January, Arsenal should go sign a player, a good backup for Thomas Partey, a good backup for Gabriel Jesus, a goal scorer, because I agree with them that Eddie Nketiah is not a guy that we can bank on. And now the Europa League is not looking like Champions League or the proper Super League. Maybe we'll give it a shot as well. And with Nketiah, that's not the player that we need. And knowing fully well that Gabriel doesn't score a lot of goals, we need a guy who is a goal pusher. Should Arsenal go sign another player? We've got one more game before the World Cup commences. Should Arsenal go sign another player, or Arsenal should just stick with this squad to the end of the season? After all, the initial goal was to make the top 4. But my final question to you guys. Arsenal started this season wanting to make the top 4. The goal is just to make top 4. Whether it's 4th, whether it's 3rd or 2nd, but there was no title contending. But if Arsenal are still on top by the time the World Cup break comes, should Arsenal realign, repurpose their ambition and say, let's give it a push? No team have started the season this good except Kevin Keegan's Newcastle and not end up with the title. Let's give it a push and go on. Arsenal have lost only 1 and drawn 1 the whole of this season. Let's give it a push and give Man City, who are not really playing at their effervescent, super dominating best. They might dominate possession, but they don't create the chances that they normally created, in previous game. Should Arsenal just go gongo and say, you know what, forget about Europa, forget about the FA Cup, forget about the League Cup, let's go and chase this title? After all, if we don't win it, if we're in the top 4, it's still a success at the end of the day. Or just play it safe, don't jinx it, take it one game at a time, and then by the end of the season, wherever we fall within the top 4, we'll celebrate it like we won the league title. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your opinion on this subject, what you think, what Arsenal should be doing, and what you think of Aubameyang's performance against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge in the 1-0 win over Chelsea, and how do you rate players like Bukayo Saka, Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey, William Saliba, and Gabriel Martinelli? Once again, my name is Adafi Mathias. You love to come in the Sports. It's nice being here with you. I need to see you guys subscribing to our YouTube channel and also turning on the notification button. Is very, very important for us because our growth depends on it, and the subsequent content that we produce depend on it as well. Thank you very much for being there with us all through the journey. We love to do a lot more content. Thank you for always watching and the comments that you drop. Engage us in the comment section with all the questions that I've thrown up today, and I hope that I'll be here again to bring up another video to you very soon.